Yo, what's going on? This is Kurt and I'm back for another video. The topic of my video today is dream interpretation work is your only way out. The truth about the 33 degrees. Dream interpretation work is your only way out. The truth about the 33 degrees. Today, I want to lay this message down clearly. I'm going to make it super clear. Eventually, you need to get out of objective etheric spirituality. You need to enter the fold of immaterial, subjective, and astral spirituality. You need to get out of the objective spirituality, because whatever is objective, Batman in Gotham City, through his many meditations, through his many mantras, through his many mudras, through all the rituals he does, Batman can never realize the subject. Subjective, objective. Subjective, objective. I speak to a lot of people, and the thing that comes up time after time again is the inability to interpret dreams and the inability to act on the dreams that the people have. Dreams are not, you know what? Let me stick to the script. Dream interpretation and the subsequent energetic dream work you do based on those interpretations is not optional. It is the foundation of authentic, liberating spirituality. You must be a dream interpreter. You must learn how to interpret your dreams. You must be able to do it, to pass it on to your children, because I'm going to explain to you why this skill is an absolute necessity. It's not an option. Imagine getting thousands of letters from yourself and leaving them unopened. Nature, in its wisdom, has ensured that everything you need for your growth and your expansion is within you. That's why dream interpretation is nature's psychic school. Psychic abilities are the aptitude to tune into yourself, listen to yourself, understand yourself, and act on yourself. Dreams aren't merely symbols and descriptive landscape. They are urgent diagnoses urging you to take energetic action and remedy the uncovered imbalances. On the most basic level, I'm going to tell you guys, on the most basic level, here's what you gain and save in terms of energy, time, and money by knowing how to decode your own dreams. You avoid dangerously opening yourself up to psychic readers. You preserve the integrity of your auric field and its boundaries. You gain information about genetic attachments, hexes, curses, and lingering debts. You find out about generational blockages. You uncover the root and the source of so-called spiritual attacks. You uncover deceptive contracts that you made unconsciously. You uncover and discover what deities, spirits, demons, angels, or saints are living in your aura. You rescue your own consciousness and energetic signature from hell states. You find out about hidden enemies. It alerts you about the formation of diseases, both natural and spiritual. It allows you to avoid the negative impacts and effects of the various spiritual initiations. It allows you to determine the true cost and effect of religious rituals and ceremonies such as baptism, communions, and weddings. So, on the most basic level, this is what you get from knowing how to interpret and act upon your own dreams. And these are skills that you pass on to your children to protect them from charlatans, from people trying to exploit them spiritually, trying to exploit them financially. If you cannot interpret your own dreams and act upon those interpretations, you become food. Food not only for people, for entities, for energies, and you become an object disconnected from its subject. You need to know how to interpret your dreams. You need to interpret at least 300 dreams per year, at least, because that develops your psychic abilities. Now, how or what do they call the dream interpretation ability? The 33 degrees. We often hear about the 33 degrees. This concept is adjunct to Freemasonry. Yet, the 33 degrees is not exclusive to them. The 33 degrees speaks about proficiency in the water element. Dreams are water. The 33 degrees are straightforward. You divide 1 by 3 and you get 33.333. That's it. You will dream 33% of your life. If you wake up every day and become more identified with objective reality rather than the subjective one, you've wasted that day. There are forces, institutions, societies, groups, orders, and energies dedicated to making you into a material entity. They work against you in those 33 degrees. The 33 degrees is about the dream water warrior. One such historical figure was Ali ibn Abu Talib. Imam Ali, as he is commonly referred to, was the first of the Shia Imams. Imam Ali is the only individual born in the Kaaba. The Kaaba, the house of God, is a cube. When he was a baby, a serpent crawled into his cradle and he killed it with his bare hands. Astrologically, Mars falls in Cancer. Mars is exalted in Capricorn, the cube. Imam Ali was Mars. The serpent represents the zodiac sign of Cancer. Cancer is ancestry, the genetics. By killing the serpent, he demonstrated that he was born with mastery over the 33 degrees. You must liberate your dream state space from ancestral and genetic influences. That is the dream water warrior. Another example of a persona who was going through the process of becoming a master of this state was Moses. So, your entire body is a symbol. Each organ is related to different metaphysical concepts. The hands, for example, symbolize personal freedom and individuality. When your hands are not liberated from the ancestral forces, your actions aren't individual, but unconscious and collective. Anytime you see white gloves or the symbol of shining white hands, it means ones whose actions are independent and apart from genetic influence. Here's a verse from the Quran speaking on the instructions that God gave to Moses. And he said, "And put your hand into the opening of your garment. At the breast, it will come out white without disease. These are among the 9 signs you will take to Pharaoh and his people. Indeed, they have been a people defiantly disobedient." Keep in mind, I'm talking about metaphysical, occult, immaterial spiritual reality. So I'm not talking about this from a religious point of view. But it's very interesting. In the Quran, Allah says he gave Moses 9 miracles to show Pharaoh. First of all, who do you think the Pharaoh, or what do you think the Pharaoh represents? Second, what do you think those 9 miracles allude to? Third, what does his name mean? Moses, Mem, Shin, Eh. Some interpretations say that his name means child rescued from drowning in the water. Again, we come back to the theme of the water. The 33 degrees is mastery over the waters of the dreams. I highly recommend that you all study the incredible life of Moses from the perspective of advanced Sufi teachings. So now, Those who work against you seduce you into solidifying / objectifying yourself through the so-called Kundalini awakenings. Those are Kundalini possessions, rather, or etheric ancestral mind control. You see this in the Uraeus protruding through the head of a pharaoh. I said I'm going to drop the Osiris video soon, and I will. When Osiris, which is the symbol of your subconscious layer, holds the crook and the flail, he is being held captive by ancestral forces. They're taking over his hands. The crook and the flail are burdens he is forced to assume, deactivating his divine astral pentagram. So now I'm going to get into very advanced topics. So you see here, it is all automatic. You do not exist in your own head. When you look in the mirror above your shoulders and stare into your own eyes, whatever free will or personality you believe exists is false. It is organic, artificial intelligence. 100% of what you are is ancestral programming. In Egypt, the head is the domain of the deity called Thoth. That's why I don't buy into Kurt. Kurt is the amalgamation of a bunch of ancestral forces being recycled. Your body is an independent etheric construct, completely parallel to your divine, immaterial, and astral subjectivity. Everyone's body is bound by karma, fate, and the laws of nature. Every single body has a predefined role down here. There are bodies meant to be insanely rich, while others intended to be abjectly poor. The laws that govern the etheric and astral are worlds apart. That's just the way it is. So if you're not Batman in Gotham City meditating and doing your chakra work, who are you? You are the subject. Remember that innocent, pure, loving, kind, unknown, unknowing, uncertain, and beautiful being we mistake for a child. That's me. Kurt, that's just a bunch of genes, a bunch of old thoughts, emotions, states of beings, and understandings. Those genes form a head, Thoth, and that head is what you see talking to you. That's the object that feels shame, guilt, pain, sorrow, frustration, jealousy. How do you trigger so-called karma? When you take and you claim emotional and mental responsibility for some shit that ain't got nothing to do with you. That is how you start carrying the cross of sin and mortality. Then your life is ruled by cause and effect. Whatever Kurt is has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with me. Why would I, innocent, pure, timeless, eternal, bodiless, feel things that originate from before me? Kurt, whatever Kurt feels, that is his problem and the problem of the ancestors whose genes he inherited that make him feel this way. Me, the subject, immaterial, subjective, divine, astral, I am perfect and perfected. Subjective spirituality is how you feed that divine immaterial subject that shines its identity most brightly through a child. Your purpose here is to protect this divine immaterial subject, to protect the heart of the child that is within you. That is your role. That is your purpose. So pain belongs to the subject, belongs to the object, pardon me, which is the result of ancestral memories, thoughts, emotions that has nothing to do with you. Do not bear the cross of objective pain, shame, guilt, sorrow. Now, 90% of the people I encounter cannot tell you that the self they had as a baby is their real subjective self. So, do you think they know how to feed and empower that aspect of themselves? That part of you can only be fed through feelings. I want to make a distinction between feelings and emotions. I'm gonna read to you guys a great definition by an author which I consider a master. His name is Amir Fatir. Amir Fatir writes, an emotion is a conditioned response. It is an ego-created reaction on a mental and hormonal level that then hijacks one's feeling to go along with the supposed meaning of the conditioning. Let's say you see a bunch of white bikers at night in front of a 7-Eleven. You've been conditioned to see them as a threat, and so your ego throws up images or imagination of them assaulting you. Then these images affect your hormones and you respond with emotions of fear and anger. But a feeling is direct from the body and has no intermediary. Like if somebody smiles at you and you automatically smile back. Or if you smell food cooking and you feel like eating. The hijacking of feelings by the ego is encoded as Set, ego, that's his interpretation of Set, trying to fuck our Set, which is feeling. End of the quote. So, I continue. To get to feelings, you first must go through the alchemical process of bringing emotions within yourself to the highest vibration. That's why I encourage you guys, and I've said many times, feel the highest emotions possible. Learn to feel the highest emotions possible. The main characteristic of emotions is that they can be captured through patterns, algorithms, and geometry. Emotions are the slaves of cause and effect. Feelings, on the other hand, are chaos and cannot be subdued. A feeling comes upon you spontaneously, like a guitar or an instrument being plucked. Feelings belong to the heart center or to the subject. We have been conditioned and sheltered from feelings by protecting ourselves with low-rate emotions. Emotions are the cornerstone of certainty. Certainty belongs to the brain, to the etheric, the objective. Uncertainty belongs to the subjective and the astral. True feelings can only come about in a state of uncertainty and defenselessness. It's not now listen to this. It is not what you don't know that makes you suffer. It's what you are certain of that does. So when you think, I am Batman, I am this, I am that, the certainty of your beliefs is what makes you suffer. Because the moment I am certain of something, I give my enemy, which could be a thought, an emotion, a state of being, a tangible target to aim at. We've been downgraded to objective being. Objective reality automatically presupposes energetic dependence. As Batman, you need water, food, shelter, clothing, electricity, and gas. You need physical experiences and possessions to feel and feed emotions and thoughts. That's where the government visibly and the etheric gods, which are really your ancestors, invisibly enslave your subjective sovereignty. And let me say this, because I'll make a video about that. There is no such thing as an ancestor that lives in the past. An ancestor is a title. Whoever are ancestors, they are in the future. The Neteru, the Loa, the Kami, the Orisha, all live in the future. They are not in the past. We're caught in the loop. We're caught in the loop of a future and a present that originates from a past. So if this future and this present originate from the past, it's all really the past recycling itself and replaying itself. That is your body. That is the objective reality. It's all ancestors. True ancestors live in the future. They are forever connected to the now. Anything that lives in the past is not your ancestor. They are not evolved. They have settled for objective material existence and have settled to become etheric gods. So, as a subject free from emotions, objectivity, and certainty, you are the source that supplies energy. You don't require it. So, as the subject, I supply energy. I give energy. My attention gives energy. I don't need energy. So, why is dream work your only way out? Because through dream work, you must liberate your subjective self from the subtle objective reflexes you have, i.e. the tendency to take responsibility for the old thoughts, fears, and emotions of your ancestors repackaged as your name, i.e. Kurt. Kurt is not the subject. Kurt is a bunch of ancestral things. Why do you think they developed a system where they say you will be crowned with such and such loi? You will be crowned with such and such orisha, because it is simply the repackaging of ancestral forces. The subject is always and forever connected to the now time. This ain't you. So the subject, through the dream, communicates with the part of it trapped by the object to weave itself out of the maze of materiality. One is the eyes and the other one is the feet. So I communicate to him symbols in the dream so he can eventually walk out of materiality and get closer and closer and closer until the vibration of the subject contained in the Batman is far too rapid and vibrates at such high frequency that the body falls and the subject is reunited with the subject. So the subject, through dreams, the dream communicates with the part of itself trapped in by the object to weave itself out of the maze of materiality. One is the eyes and the other is the feet. So if you spend your entire life getting messages from here, but you interpret it through the brain of ancestors that are trying to keep you locked down in materiality, you're just doing this. Recycling, the order borders, just recycling. You're not doing shit. You are not absorbing immaterial energy. And I'm going to show you a proof of that. Let's try an exercise. Close your eyes. Imagine this is it. Okay, so Batman, this is it. Batman, you're dead. Okay, Batman, this is it. Imagine this is it. The moment your eyes are closed, you can no longer add experiences to your database. Who would you then be? Who are you right now? How high or low is your self-esteem? How do you perceive yourself? Are you a winner? Are you a loser? Have you accomplished things? Did you matter? Are you important? Can you fly? Can you teleport? Are those things even possible in your world? Are you an I am? The combined product of the mental and emotional answers to this question would dictate where your consciousness would be headed. Would the subject contained Batman ascend back to its subjective self? Or would the subject trapped in Batman become recycled? By default, we cannot hold the highest views of ourselves if they aren't supported A, by physical experiences and evidence, and B, by the opinions of others. So for you to feel like you're rich, you need a bunch of gold. For you to feel like you're important, you need a bunch of attention. but you need it externally and you need it from other people. That means that when you close your eyes, okay, let me stick to the script, goddamn. Most of us, so by default, we cannot hold the highest views of ourselves if they aren't supported A, by physical experiences and evidence, and B, by the opinions of others, by the opinions and perceptions of others. Most of us would invariably fall and seek to partake in behaviors and environments to give external reinforcements to our interior deficiencies. That is the light that Bobby warned against. Don't go towards the light. Don't go towards the objective light. Go towards the darkness of subjectivity. In this exercise, your self-esteem is the fuel. If you could close your eyes for 500 years, you would have enough energy to support yourself for that time span. Then you would again need to externalize yourself because you would no longer have enough self-esteem contained within. Based on all the doubts that Batman would be telling you about yourself, you would need to have the reassurance of physical or etheric experiences to confirm what you are. What about the entities we've heard that have been sleeping for billions of years? In most cases, they're symbolically speaking of immaterial, subjective astral deities that do not need external experiences, validation, and confirmations for energetic sustenance. They don't need anything external to themselves to confirm their wealth, their beauty, their intelligence. They are the source of that. That's why God, Allah in the Quran, there's 9 planets, and he gave Moses 9 miracles. Moses was in the hell of materiality and he was trying to extract his own self. Moses was trying to become like Imam Ali. So Imam Ali is in the mythology, Imam Ali is a finished product of the dream water warrior. Moses, who was born in the water but was seeking not to drown in the water of genes of ancestrality, was going through the process of liberating himself, which the Quran calls the people of Israel. So the subjective deity does not need external experiences. He could sleep for millions and millions and billions and billions and billions and billions of years, and it wouldn't matter because he has enough fuel. He has enough self-esteem to last eternally. The fuel needed to feel like the man, even when your external circumstances in the world tell you otherwise, is the key to your liberation. That is subjective spirituality. Subjective spirituality absorbs immaterial, undefined, undefinable energy, what they call chaos. Dream interpretation and energetic dream work train you for death. If a symbol has 100 meanings, but you can only see the first 3 layers, how can you commune with greater realities? You'll see things, people, and places in mundane ways and then get pulled by the gravity of lower density emotional interpretations. Let me repeat this. Dream interpretation and energetic work and dream interpretation and energetic dream work train you for death. If a symbol has 100 meanings, but you can only see the first 3 layers, how can you commune with greater realities? You'll see things, people, and places in mundane ways. Then you'll get pulled by the gravity of lower density emotional interpretations. Observe how the most profound cosmic truths are veiled in mystical poetry and prose. The thing about feeling, and this is the thing about feeling, and it is about an uncertain knowing residing outside of the thinking process. Feeling comes here. Everything here is straight up artificial intelligence, organic artificial intelligence. This is all your ancestors. The detoxification process from objective, etheric, ancestral reflexes and perception is a must. It begins with dream interpretation work and planetary magic, all of which are subjective, immaterial, astral sciences. You must awaken the child behind the Batman. So imagine, so we're doing a bunch of, yoga and meditation and blah, 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 blah. But the moment you identify with the emotional and mental cross, you take on ancestral karma, you take on pain, and you crucify the child. You crucify the child that is the highest symbol of your divine, subjective, immaterial, astral self. So if you did nothing in your life, at least the best thing you could do is to disidentify with the pain, with the shame, with the guilt, with the hurt. It has nothing to do with you. Some years ago, this body was born. A subject was attached to this body, which is Kurt. Kurt goes on to live its life. However, the subject, at no point am I responsible for something that happened before me. That is injustice. That is not just. So if it is injustice, who or what would think that I would take responsibility for this body, those thoughts, those emotions, which are the result of my great-great-grandparents, my parents, my grandfathers, grandmothers? It ain't got shit to do with me. What has to do with me is the subject. However, what you could do, you could say, hey, object, I'm the subject, I'm running the show. You could go to hell with the ancestors and become recycled, or you could understand that you don't exist and you could follow my lead so I could liberate the subjective aspect of myself within you. But once I liberate the subjective aspect of myself within you, whatever you are, you become a deity. You become my avatar. That is why Kurt is my servant. He is not my master. So that's the process that you have to go through. But to be able to have this presence of mind, to be able to have this unflinching knowing, you have to master the communication between the subject and the object. And that communication takes place in the dream realm. That is the science of the 33 degrees that was shown in the life of Moses and in the life of Imam Ali.